Let me see what we have going on here. I think we are good. Okay. Oh, I'm telling you something else, folks. It's unbelievable what's happening out there now. I had to come on tonight for the simple reason is something that's been eating at my craw for a few weeks now. And what that is the Jesse Smollett issue. Let me tell you why it's an issue. Let's just step back what's just happened. The feds have charged this person by the name of Brian Rini, who is 23, with making a false statement after authorities said he claimed to be the Aurora boy missing since 2011. Story is, Timothy was the 6-year-old when his father dropped him off at the Greenman Elementary School in Aurora on May 11, 2011. He was picked up shortly after by his mother, Amy Fry Pitson, I believe that's how you say her name, who took him on a 3-day trip to a zoo and a water park before she was found dead by suicide in a Rockford motel room. Notes she left behind stated her son was safe but would never be found. So what is this issue? Well, Robert Brown, special agent in charge of the FBI's Louisville field office, estimated more than 50 officers and health officers took part in the effort to identify the man who turned out to be Rini. If convicted on charges of lying to a federal officer, Rini could face up to 8 years in prison because the charges involved lying about a material matter related to an investigation that involves sex trafficking of children, Glassman said. These are serious charges, and they're pretty much going to put this guy away for what he did. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this guy had charges. Well, he had a history of doing stuff like this anyway. But they charged him with lying to an officer, which is a federal offense when during an investigation. Now let's get back up to speed here. On February 21st, Jesse Smollett was arrested on suspicion of filing a false police report under Illinois law. Filing a false report is a Class 4 felony, punishable by up to 3 years in prison. A judge set his bond at $100,000 and ordered that the actor surrender his passport. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said Smollett staged the alleged attack because he was dissatisfied with his salary. Okay. Smollett first attempted to gain attention by sending a false letter that relied on racial, homophobic, and political language and apparent reference to a letter sent to Empire the days before the attack, which means he used the mail system to lie about federal charges. When that didn't work, Smollett paid $35,000 or $3,500 to stage his attack and drag Chicago's reputation through the mud in the process, Johnson said. And why? The stunt was orchestrated by Smollett because he was dissatisfied with his salary. So to concoct a story about being attacked, that's what he did. Johnson said Smollett took advantage of the pain and the anger of racism to promote his career. Ooh, agony, pain, and racism. Okay. Now we have these two stories. This Brian dude, Brian Rini, who lied to the feds, and they'll probably nail his ass to the wall for what he did. But what he did is claim he was this boy. So he lied about that, and they're going to nail his ass to the wall. But Jesse Smollett actually orchestrated the entire fabrication using the postal system, which is a federal crime, lying to the feds, twice as many officers involved with the man hours and stuff, but yet the Attorney General, what's her name, Kim Foxx, let him off with nothing. Okay, you go run, play with your friends. But the other guy did less of a federal crime than Jesse Smollett did, and they're going to nail his butt to the wall because he's not a star. All I know is, because of all this, Jesse Smollett is going to walk free. Brian Rini is going to get nailed big time. And this is the kind of legal status Chicago is putting forth. Why is our system this way? If they allow movie stars and entertainers to get away with this kind of crap, and somebody that does a lesser crime gets sent to Sing Sing for the rest of their life, we have a serious problem. And that problem is not the people. It's the people that are in charge, our government, our justice system. There's so many corrupt people. I hate to admit it, Chicago is one of the worst corrupt states out there. Chicago, the city, corrupt cities. Unbelievable how bad it is. Same thing with California and New York. Not New York State, New York City. They're making all these stupid rules, and they're trying to ban some of the stupidest stuff out there. But yet they let Jesse Smollett walk away free of charge, 16 federal charges against him. They said, bye-bye. This Brian Rini had one federal, maybe two federal charges against him. And they were misdemeanor federals, minor federal crimes, and they're going to nail his ass. Why? No one's putting it up. Oh, look what he did. He made that family suffer. Well, Jesse Smollett made half of America suffer through his lies. I hope Timothy, the young boy, is found someday. But Brian Rini hurt a family and dug up some emotions that have been pretty rough on him, I know. That was his real crime. Jesse Smollett, his crime was putting a wedge between the United States population. Literally, he took a wedge between the right and the left and drove it for his own self-satisfaction. And nobody is complaining about that. Why? It's unbelievable what is happening in our country. They don't want to protect our country. They want to have it taken over by everybody else out there. Do they really hate America that much? Or are they that stupid to realize that it took a lot of sweat and blood and guts to build this country so people can be really free? And the freedom that people are talking about are not freedoms that you run up a mountain waving a flag and saying, hey, no. We're talking about the freedoms for me to have the ability to sit here and voice my opinion. But that's starting to go away too. With this Brian Rini and Jesse Smollett issues, that's the first step, or just another brick in the wall of what's happening to our country, where the laws are written for the few and to be punished upon the many. What history has proven time and time and time again. It's even being proven right now in Venezuela. But people don't understand. Britain was one of the world powers. And it was a small group of men with good women behind them that stood up and fought that power and made this country ours. They learned the lessons of monarchies and dictatorships and communism and Marxism and socialism, and they wanted to do something different. So they instituted a republic, a capitalism republic. Now, capitalism is becoming a dirty word. Ooh, capitalism is bad. If you really believe that capitalism is bad, do not ever ask your boss for a raise. Do not ever protest and wanting $15 an hour for minimum wage, because all that is capitalism. Socialism is where they will tell you what you will do, how much money you will make, and where you will live. And the youth think, no, they won't. We're going to have our iPhone and we're going to protest. You are? Go for it. But I hate to tell you this. There is no such thing as socialism. Socialism is a false flag for dictatorship. Everyone says that Venezuela is a socialistic society. No, it's not. It's actually a dictatorship. And that's what this Brian Rini and Jesse Smollett issues are all about. One person who should go to jail, Brian Rini, because he had a history, or at least put forth that way. But so should Jesse Smollett. He has to go to jail too. But because he is on Empire and he's a movie star and he was mad because he wasn't being paid enough, well, maybe because you weren't a good enough actor to get, to command those dollars. Anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest because it was really tearing into me how one person could make a false accusation that was proven by DNA, and he gets railed to the walls. Jesse Smollett does everything there is out there to tear this country in half just because of his own selfishness. And the Attorney General protects him? Where'd that come from? Why would they do that? Look into it, folks. Open your eyes. Our country has problems. And the problems stem from the underlying anti-constitutionalist people. And those people are trying to run for the presidency now. Just listen to what they're saying. Pay attention to what they're doing. Listen to the rhetoric. If anybody gets in your face about it, confront them. Ask them point blank, why? What is your intentions? What do you want? Those questions they can't answer. You have to be active in your community. You have to get out there. You have to get out and vote. Please do. I'm Russell Mays. I hope you're going to have a great weekend coming up. Many things are going to be happening, so stay tuned. We'll be back again. Love y'all. Bye.